Welcome to this look at a new mod map to console on Farming Simulator 22 with me, MrSealyp. OSSIACHER TAL is where I find myself for this map tour. This is by BlackpatModding, 112.81 megabytes download. Yesterday this had an update. Part of that update was only PC mod was removed. So I think there was one PC mod that was on this. That's been removed, which means console release. So we've got it on console. Contracts are available on this map. We'll talk about slot count straight away because it's the same on all three game modes. It's 1,203 on New Farmer, Farm Manager and Start from Scratch. Only difference being, Farm Manager and Start from Scratch, you don't own the land. Talking of the land, this is what the map looks like. On New Farmer, we start with plot 60, which has got the main farm on it, field 13, field 14. We have a couple of animal pastures on the field as well, out on the field, should I say. 61 and 62, we've got a cow pasture and a sort of large sheep pen, large sheep pasture. Field prices, I have to say, are really, really cheap. There are the verges, the periphery of the map, which can be purchased for zero. I say purchase, I suppose they're giving it away. So you can get all of that for zero, which will help with whether it be logging, grass work, placeables, whatever you want to do. We come back off that and go back to there. So I think it's 4 forestry areas. Yeah, you can buy, but there is a section there that obviously comes part of the map. 53 grand, 62 grand. Field prices, as I said, 60, 61. There's a couple of other little plots knocking around that you can pick up fairly cheaply, and everything can be purchased. So, like I say, as far as placeables and stuff go, pretty good. The small fields, for example, down there, 6 grand, 6, 5. It's brilliant. It does make it more accessible when you're doing small field work and that kind of thing to be able to purchase more stuff. There's nothing worse than when you've got fairly small fields, it's fairly small equipment and machinery, and field price is really expensive because it can take you so long to get to a point where you can actually start purchasing more land. But yeah, on here, pretty good, I have to say. We do start with, on New Farmer as well, the total mix ration station and 2 large greenhouses. Again, these are at the main farm. So on Farm Manager and Start from Scratch, they won't be showing on here until you buy the land. Once you buy the land, then they're available because you purchased the land, you own them, they're on the plot, so to speak. Talking of total mix ration mixing station, we might as well talk about the mods as well. There are some required mods on this map. We've got the Silos Multi-Fruit by OmaTana, the Composite Machinesheds by VertexDezign and Niggels, the TMR Mixing Station by Happy Mole, Animals Placeables Pack by Puma 145, the German Fire Station by nrxEcki, and the Fish Farming by GWENDAL. All of those are installed. I'm going to get onto one of them later on because I'm a little bit not puzzled, but I think it will make more sense later on. Anyway, other than that, there are no other mods. There's no other vehicles or machinery, and if you go into build mode, the only things showing in the build mode are those required mods that you'll find in the obvious places. Silos Multi-Fruit under Silos, Machine Sheds under Sheds, TMR Mixing Station I think is under Production Chains, Animals Pack under Animals, German Fire Station Decoration, and Fish Farming also under Productions. So, the map, oh, that's what we'll do. I do it every time. I do my thumbnail and then forget to put these back on. There we go. So, sleep trigger is just behind us. I think everything can be demolished. Yep, so you can take stuff away if you want to, once you own the land, of course. So, sleep trigger is just there. We'll move through into the yard, pick up tractors and bits on the way. This is the main farm area. We have got, which one was this? This was horses. 8 horses in here. Come just over here, composite machine sheds with pretty much all of our equipment. There's a couple of little bits scattered around the yard, but we do have 2 tractors and then various different bits of equipment. I say no, it's not massive stuff, but he'll get you going. Including a livestock trailer as well. We come out across the yard. We've got a cow barn over here. This does 400 cows, I think. This one does. Now, this is not a mod review for these particular mods, the required mods, but this one do 400. Triggers and stuff are fairly straightforward. Bedding and feed and that kind of stuff. Milk point, slurry point. If we come a little bit further over, we've got a chicken pen over here. This will do 150 chickens just in there. If we come down the slope, now this place OSSIACHER TAL is in Austria, and Lake Ossiach I think is up in the mountains. I can't remember what height it was, and this fits all this perfectly. I think Tal means valley, so it's OSSIACHER Valley, I think. But as we come down here, we've got a little windmill, and we've got our TMR mixing station just over here with its managed point behind, so all the various bits go in there. Taking out is done here for your TMR, and your managed production is done there. We just saw that, but yeah, recipes pretty good, fairly straightforward as well. There's nothing unusual in there like corn or anything over and above that you might need to use. We come down, we've got the silo, so that's the multi-fruit silo. This is the wood version by OmaTana. That's 5 million litres multi-fruit. 3 silage clamps tucked away down here. I like this. Is one of those ones. Some of these hills with smaller tractors, I'm not going to lie, that you can get bogged down, but there's some nice bits. There's a lot of fencing, which some people won't necessarily like. You can remove it if we're going to build mode, as long as you're on the land. We can remove fencing for the most part. There might be some areas where you can't, but I'm pretty sure most of it you can. Pig pen, just over here, also does 400, and again triggers fairly straightforward, self-explanatory hopefully. So 400 pigs. Hayloft just here. It's a lovely little view out here over the village. But what I like is we're on this kind of what's the word for it? Is it a massive? Yeah, it's a very picturesque map, this one. So this is kind of stood up in the middle of the map, and you kind of go down to the valley, and the valley runs right the way around the outside. There's another sort of raised bit, but it's nice sweeping terrain. The fields look, it's an interesting map to do. There's loads of sections I would suggest go out and have a look around, because there's some really nice little bits there. Now harvester is tucked in here. That's pretty much all of the stuff around the yard, I think. So let's grab a tractor. If we go a little bit further down, we have got a fuel point and a workshop trigger. We'll grab the Massey. There are no collectibles on the map that I'm aware of. I have checked in the menu, couldn't see anything for collectibles. We'll try to let's get the map open. Bottom left. We've got the 2 large greenhouses just off to our right over there. And over here we've got a 15,000 litre fuel tank, which is empty at the moment, but can be filled if you wish to, obviously at a cost. And a workshop trigger is just here. Now up on the hill, over to our right, just as you go over the rise at the top, there is a cow pasture up the top there. It's a bit of a drive up. I'm not going to drive all the way up there, but there is a cow pasture up there. And that does 78, which is interesting. We've got 400 cows down here, but if you want to put them up in the pasture, you can do 78. So you can rotate your animals around, I guess. Your favourite 78 can go up into the pasture. So follow this track up here, and you bear to the right. Up over the top there is where you find the cow pasture. To our left here is where you find the sheep. Now these are the 2 plots that I showed you earlier that we don't own yet, but you can buy them, and they're really cheap. They're not expensive at all. So sheep, pen, pasture is up here, and this holds, how many sheep was this? 250 this will do. I'll open that gate so it'll be easier to turn around. I'm liking the sweep of the landscape, you know. Has a real kind of alpine feel to it, you know what I mean? It's that thing, isn't it? So heading back down from the main farm area, let's get around the map, check things out. Now we can get out 3 different ways if we want to. Up over the top of the mountain, I guess, over the top there, and there's a route that runs around the side of the mountain. If we go back to the map, I will show you. So we are currently here. So if you go up this track here, there's a track that runs around the back of there. It's very steep around this bit here, and there's a little river with a little lake down there. Runs right the way down, brings you out to the valley there. Where we've got to the greenhouses, you can drop down from there towards this field, or we're going to take the road down into the village that way. Like I said, this is definitely one of those ones you can have a good old explore. It's a pity there's not collectibles. I've said this so many times before. I miss having the nuggets and the coins and stuff to collect, because that really did force you to go out. I mean, 100 collectibles is nothing to be sniffed at when you go and looking, but it kind of forced you to get, assuming of course you were into collecting those kind of things, to explore the map and find places you wouldn't necessarily otherwise find. So, down through the village, like I said, it's very picturesque, got a lovely feel. It looks like all the road surfaces have just been newly done, not overly weathered. Down past a little pond. I'm sure it says rivers and lakes. You can take water from the lakes and rivers. Across the way we have our restaurant. We're going to head this way round. There's plenty of scope on this as well for placeables and stuff like that. There's loads of flat areas, as you can see once we get down to here. There's no sort of river that runs around the valley side. I don't know whether this would have been a floodplain for a river, but it's incredibly flat. Over here we've got our farmer's market sale point in the little square here. I can cut across the grass, I probably should have done that. Carrying on. Now, to our forest to our right, we're going to get a little bit further on. We've got a gas station and biogas plant coming up. You can drive up into the forest. On the map, it looks like there's a little quarry there. I did drive out there because I didn't know if there was any rock or anything. Sometimes you get in these little quarries, you have piles of rock, and you can buy the plot of land. There's not. But what I will say, I'm not going to drive out there because it's incredibly loud. The sound effects out there, there are birds, and then the sound of chainsaws and stuff, it is quite loud. So just be aware of that. If you drive into, especially wearing headphones, it can be a bit of a shock. Gas station just there. I'll show you where I mean when we drive past it. We're down this way. One downside, maybe, it depends how you feel about it. Like I said, I really like the layout of the map. I like the way it feels, and it feels natural, and I like the sweep of the land and that kind of stuff. There are some points where it feels a little bit contrived, in so much as you're forced to go certain routes to get to certain places, which take you kind of a long way out of your way. It makes the map feel very big, but there are points like here with the biogas plant, when you drive down the main road and you kind of think to yourself, well, it would have been probably far easier just to have an entrance here. I'm not knocking what the map maker's done, I'm just saying, I don't know. Actually, let's buy it and find out. If we come to here, so we went out there, restaurant, farmer's market, we swung around there past the gas station, we're now here at this plot, which only costs you 15,554. So we buy this plot and do that. Let's go into build mode and let's see, can I take the fence down? No, I was hoping let me remove the fence. It's a minor thing, and then there's a few little bits I just found as I was doing the map tour. You kind of follow a particular route to try and get to all the places as efficiently as possible. But I was finding myself driving a long way out of the way to get to certain places because of where the entrances are placed and that kind of stuff. But there's plenty of maps like that. This is not unusual, just something I noticed. So, on the biogas plant. The lighting's very good. Shadows aren't too dark. Colour palette seems nice. It seems crisp and clean. These aren't the fastest tractors in the world, but get a chance to enjoy the scenery while we're going along. Now you can go into the forest anywhere, it's not like it's fenced in. There's a main trackway just come up on the right, like so when you drive in there towards this kind of quarry area, yeah, that's where it does get a little bit loud up there. On our left, the dairy. As we come sweeping around, you'll see when we look back to where the farm area is, up on that, say, mountain, it kind of starts looming out of the ground, and it's very flat all across this bit, but then sweeping up around the sides. We are going to cut across in a moment, and I'll show you on the map again as well, because the route round to get to, I think it's the sawmill we're going to go to next, it's quite a drive. There's some really nice little bits like pastures and stuff up on the hillsides and stuff. There's little tracks that lead up with a little gateway, and yeah, like I say, explore. Get out there and check it out. There is a sign later on, and hopefully we'll get to it before we finish the map. So I think we will. It just made me smile out loud. It's not a new sign. It's just one of those ones that's always made me kind of grim whenever I see it. Again, I'll explain when we get to it. If we turn left here. Left. Now we are going to slow down considerably because it's quite steep. So I'm going to cut across here, and trust me, even slowing down to get up the hill, we'll get there quicker than if we went the other way. So while we're plodding, I shall show you on the map. So we swung all the way around here. We're now at this point. This track here runs out all the way around there, all the way around the back of there, all the way up there, right around the back, and brings you into the sawmill that way. And it's steep in places, so it's one of those things, if you are bringing lumber and stuff up here, you may struggle at times. So sawmill up here, standard sawmill, wood in, wood planks and wood chips out. Plenty of space for placeables, additional, whatever it is you want to put in here. If you want to put another sell point, you might have enough space. There's a few of the Platinum DLC sawmills knocking around. You might be able to fit one in. Look at that for a view. It's cool, isn't it? Yeah, so you can see over straight ahead. That's where the farm is. And you've got that very sharp cliff edge at the back. The meadows and the cow pasture are up on the top of that, sweeping up on the side from the farm. But then obviously once you get off that edge, it's a sharp drop. Back onto the road. Cereal factory on our left. Now I don't know if this is Lake OSSIACHER, I think. But there is a lovely little lake there, with a lovely walk around the outside of it. Summer picnics, etc. Lovely. Now those three tracks out from the main farm that I said about, the one that winds out from the farm and came up to the back here, this is where it comes out on the right, just here. So that sort of fenced, there's a fenced trackway, snakes right around the side and brings you up over it. So I was saying, if you want a shortcut, I mean, yeah, it is a shortcut. Provided you've got the oomph to get back up there. Coming down's fine, going back might be a bit of a struggle. Tailor shop on our left. Just looking to see if I have enough room to cut across here. I think I will cut across. Again, just for time, really. We are currently here, so we follow the road down to this junction here, and we can come in and up to this point here. We're just going to cut across because we need to go around and take in all of these. Do we got enough grass there? Yeah, we have. Livestock market. Animal dealer is just there. We'll get to the entrance in just a moment. And then we've got animal trade bales is out the front, so it's the animal dealer sell point for all intents and purposes. So animal trade bales at the front, with our animal dealer point around the side. Just see the blue disc through there. In the middle here, let's see if we can that way. We cut across in a moment as well. We have got this is Sales Market Sell Point, which is just round behind that building there. Supermarket for all intents and purposes. I keep saying it's one of those phrases today. That's the phrase of the day for all intents and purposes. But it's little bits like this. I like this. The roadworks, bit of construction going on. So, Sales Market is round there. We're going to go, back up this way. On the left, spinnery. I love that church up on that rocky outcrop. Commanding place overlooking the countryside. People can see it from a long way away. Swinging around, we've got the vehicle shop, vehicle store with its workshop trigger. This is also the reset point on the map. Quite a drive from the farm. Now I would say probably down on the flat plain areas out here you can get away with much larger equipment. As you've already seen up around the farm area, and some of the fields do have fencing around them, but down here on the plain it is a lot more open, so you'll probably get away with mid to large machinery if you wanted to. Again, there you go. So there's your vehicle shop trigger, your workshop trigger, and this is the reset point. It's one of those things that you can use any machinery on any map. Of course you can. You can choose whatever you want to use on there. Some maps it's much easier to use larger machinery. Some maps it's almost impossible to use large machinery. You know, it's just a suggestion. Whenever I or anyone that does a map tool says, you know, this map is for, you can use any machinery you like. Turning in. We've got the oil mill, and behind the oil mill, just over there, we've got the bakery. Just tucked over there. I'm going to cut across here because this is the fire station. This is one of the required mods. German fire station by nrxEcki. This is one of the ones I did it on a mod review a while back. If you never saw the mod review, if you've never seen it or used it, this is one of those. I'm not going to go through the entire building. Check it out. It's a fantastic mod. This plot of land can be purchased as well, fairly cheaply as far as I recall. Oh, you can have it for nothing if you want to be a fireman. There's a couple of fire engine mods now available as well, but there's a lift. It's brilliant. It's fantastic. So yeah, if you haven't seen that before, it's worth coming on. If you're going to play on here, check out the fire station. It's a brilliant mod. We're going to continue south. I'm cutting across a few bits rather than going around the roads there. Apologies if that annoys people, but just so I can get it all in. Don't pull out, don't pull out, don't pull out. Oh, okay. On our left, we've got the grain mill, and then we'll sweep down here, and this is the bit that I mentioned much earlier, that's got me a little bit puzzled, I'm not going to lie. So, if we look at the map momentarily, it looks like a Placeables area, but we've got this nice wide open area with grass on it already. So we're down here at the moment. This plot of land will set about 9,165. That's all. If I buy it, do that. So I thought, well, maybe a trigger will come up, something will be there. If you look at that, what's on the map, this bit here, that looks to me like the fish farming. It looks like the. If I've been around the whole map, it is one of the required mods, fish farming by GWENDAL. I can't find it anywhere else. This to me seems like the obvious place for it to be. It is installed, it's one of the required mods. I think if I go into build mode, it's under production. There we go. Fish farming, I have got it. Unless this has just been left for you to put it down if you want to. I don't know whether it's supposed to be there, but it's not. So yeah, I mean it's a placeables area for all intents and purposes. But if it's, I'll stop saying that. But yeah, I'm not sure whether it's supposed to be there or not. But it looks like that's maybe where it should be. Now back to the map. So we've done all the bits all around here. We're down at this point now. We came in across the back of there, but we're going to come back out here. So I will see you back at this point here in a moment. I changed tack on that ever so slightly. We're down at agricultural sale, which is just here. I'll show you on the map where we are. For a simple reason, if we come out of here and come past the gas station and down to agricultural sale, there is this little track road that runs up through there, which I'm going to take, which takes in a couple of sale points. And on the bottom here, we've got agricultural sale where we are now, and I think it's the sugar mill. Sugar mill's down the bottom there. So what I was going to do was go from here back past the gas station and take that track round. When we get to there, we'll just whiz down the hill and back up again. A little bit easier than sort of going the other way I was intending. So agricultural sale is just here. Gas station, and the turning we're looking for is just on the left. I love that. That's a nice feature. When I did my map tour, my prep for my map tour, I went around the bottom of the valley and decided actually no, I'd rather go this way. This looks brilliant. Little landslide, rocks on the ground, tree down, and I'm thinking as well. When you think about the, there's a few rock mods and stuff, and there's that set of rocks. Oh, that's annoying. There's a sort of set of rocks that you can pick up. Imagine having those scattered on the road as the kind of, you know, you've got to come out and you've got to clear the rocks away. That's nice, that is. Clever little feature. Coming up, biomass heating plant. Is just here, and as I said, if we whiz down the hill here very quickly, we'll say whiz down the hill, if we fall off this cliff here, sugar mill is just there. That road runs past agriculture and runs all the way around the outside. So that's your sugar mill. And there's lovely little fields and meadows and stuff tucked away up on the hillside. Like I said, it's not too bad at the moment. I'm in a tractor on its own. If you think you get a trailer on the back of that with a load of grain in it, or a couple of small trailers, or whatever it is you might be hauling, all of a sudden things change. The thing I keep thinking about as well is another one of those features that we kind of take for granted now that came with FS22. The engine sounds and engine notes, and the engine notes changing when the vehicle's under strain and it's going up hills and that kind of stuff. It was kind of a big thing when FS22 was coming out, and we kind of just, it's just normal now. We used to take it as read, yeah, that's what it does. Ooh, what's from going? On our right, we've got the carpentry. Nice little loop around. Like I said, the road layouts force you to go further, I suppose. And there are plenty of places in real life that are just like that, where the roads follow certain, you know, the contours of a hill. It will follow existing field boundaries, whatever it might be. So what we're going to do now is head down into the valley at the bottom. That's it for all the sell points. We're going to head back around the valley, and that will bring us up to the T-junction where we came out when we came down from the farm, and we passed the church on the right, and we came out and the restaurant was directly opposite us. That's where we're going to be heading back up to now. But I was just going to, we'll go back up, and there's again another elevation change. The whole thing has been, hasn't it, really? I think the sign's not here. Yeah, it is. Unless it's changed. I hope it's still there. Yeah, there we go. Whenever I see one of these signs on any map that I'm on, it just makes me smile. Because it's a lovely picture of a landscape, and it says "Enjoy nature" with an exclamation mark, like it's a command. You will enjoy nature. Enjoy it. You have no choice. It's not a question. Do you enjoy nature? It's enjoy nature? Question mark. And it's not just a statement. Get out, enjoy nature. That exclamation mark gives that kind of enjoy it till you're told. Anyway, coming back up now. The second or third, depending on how you look at it, exit points from the main farm, like I said, would sweep down. You've got the workshop you can just about see up there, and the greenhouses are just to the left. There's that little track that runs down and onto this farm here, and then the one that we actually came out on past the church, just there. And that's the map. That's OSSIACHER TAL by BlackpatModding, new to console. I hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free, and if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.